Post. Walker. That's it, love.
Thank you.
Nice morning.
Can't say I've had time to notice. Morning.
Oh, good morning.
What's happened to her then?
Who?
Who? Vanessa Bloomin' Redgrave. Who do you think? Lucille Hewitt.
Oh, I'm afraid the picture's still somewhat confused, Mrs. Sharples.
Why?
Well, Mrs. Walker wasn't exactly forthcoming about what happened when she went round to the police station last night, but as far as I can gather, Lucille declined to see her.
Oh, I see.
As far as we know, she stayed at the station all night.
And what's she been charged with? First-degree murder and knocking her Bobby's helmet off.
Oh, nobody knows just what's happening yet. Billy's gone round to the station now to find out.
Can I help you, Mrs. Sharples?
Yes, you could let me have sixpence for these two.
Extraordinary, isn't it, when you come to think of it?
What?
The way the empty beer bottle has never been recognised for what it is, a weapon of espionage.
You'll be fighting it all the way up to the Lords, of course.
Don't want to talk about it, thank you, Mrs. Sharples. You may consider the sight of a young girl making a fool of herself in public edifying. I do not.
Oh, that's what she was doing, was it? Making a fool of herself?
In my opinion, yes.
Funny, you were happy enough basking in her reflected glory when she took up do-gooding.
I do not consider obstructing the police in the performance of their duties do-gooding, Mrs. Sharples, particularly when it's on behalf of a band of shiftless vagrants.
Oh, what did he call that old fellow she was helping, old Noblet? An industrious pillar of the community?
I repeat, a band of shiftless vagrants.
Oh, hardly shiftless vagrants, Mrs. Walker.
And what else would you call them? Trekking up and down the country like so many Bedouin, turning any spare ground they can find into a public eyesore?
Well, I must admit it isn't the sort of life I'd choose for myself, but if they want to live that way, they do have a right to. Just as Lucille has a right to protest if she feels they're being unfairly treated.
Look, we all have our rights, Miss Nugent, but taking the law into our own hands is not one of them.
You mean like Ray Langton and those other responsible citizens did?
Well,
Sorry.
I beg your pardon?
Well, according to the desk sergeant, the prisoner had a hearty breakfast, said she was sorry, and then left at first light. And if you ask me, she was dead lucky. It could have cost her 50 quid.
Well, where is she? She certainly hasn't been here.
Presumably she went straight into work.
Well, how can you blame her? You know what they say, don't you? Hell hath no fury like a Beaumont enraged. Now, well, where are you going?
I just thought that was obvious.
Oh, look, don't be so daft.
Look, this has gone far enough. When I went to that police station last night, that girl absolutely refused to speak to me. I've never been so humiliated in my life.
All right, well, chew her up and spit out the pips, but not in public. Get her on her own. Not round at Dave Smith's flying circus. You might just as well stage it at the Wembley pool and sell the television rights. Look, Mum, she'll be home to dinner, right? We'll sort it out with her then.
All right, I'll give her till lunchtime.
More tea?
No, thanks. No, I better make an early start, find myself some digs.
Alan?
No, thanks. I'm late already. You wouldn't know of any, would you? Around here.
Keep me eye open for you, love.
Well, I have to be off, love.
Oh, right.
See you later.
Yeah, see you then.
Hey, leave them out of those.
Oh, you sure?
Positive.
Right. Is this Dennis, then?
That's right.
Does he live around here?
Bristol.
Do you miss him?
Sometimes, not as much as I did.
What's he like, then?
Oh, he's all right, is our Dennis. If you didn't mind him bringing home 100 girl pipers and performing seals and things like that.
He didn't really do that, did he?
Oh, I could tell you tales about Dennis that'd make your hair curl. He was all right, was our kid. The only trouble was, every time you went for a bath, you never knew what or who you were going to have it with.
It sounds like fun.
It was. Still is, according to Jenny.
Oh, well, better be going.
Mark?
Yeah.
When you left home, had you had a row with your mother?
No, why?
Oh, I just wondered, that's all.
Oh, you mean if I didn't, why did I leave?
Something like that.
Well, when Mum and Dad got divorced, my mother got custody. And I never saw my dad again, until now. Well, it's not as if we didn't get on or anything. I mean, we did. It's just that, well, with me and my dad, it's always been a bit special.
I know.
So when I was old enough to choose for myself, and I always had this at the back of my mind, when this chance came up at the Tech, I suppose that was it.
Mark.
Yeah.
Sit down a minute, will you? Since your dad and me got married, it hasn't exactly been all roses. Not with the business going kaput and everything like that.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And then you turning up just out of the blue like that. Well, if we didn't exactly lay down the red carpet, I'm sorry. But we have a spare room if you want to stay.
I wouldn't want to be any bother.
No bother.
Thank you.
I thought you'd gone back to Canada doing the Indian love call and chasing that Rosemary up the mountain.
Now, just watch it. I'll have you in front of the race relations.
Can I get you something, Mr. Garside?
Yes, I'll have some wine gums, please.
Right. Hey, you want to watch these, you know, they're what you call habit forming.
Oh, aye.
Yeah, last time Albert Tatlock bought some of them in here, I had to have the bobbies round and have him thrown out. Anyway, where did you disappear to, if that's not a leading question?
Whaley Bridge. I have a couple of cousins live over there.
Oh, I see.
I say, what do you think about that, then?
Oh, it's Blue John, isn't it?
Yes, I picked it up when I was over in Matlock the other day. You recognise it, then?
Yeah, I'm not just a pretty face, you know.
Is there something wrong?
What do you mean?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm sorry, Mr. Garside. It's just that Blue John always brings back memories for me.
Happy memories.
It's a very long story. Is that for who I think it's for?
Do you think she'll like it?
Oh, I think she'll be putty in your hands. Thanks, love. Ta-ra.
Right, ta-da. Hello.
Now, I bet you're not doing that when you're his age.
What?
Buying your girlfriend's brooches and chasing Minnie Caldwell up the cut bank.
Oh, I don't know. At the last MOT test, they said I had plenty of mileage in me yet.
I see.
Provided I kept my spare tyre down and got myself well oiled regularly.
Do you want something?
Yeah, can I have 5 and small cigars, please?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you know, if you was a proper boss, you'd send a lad for these.
Well, if I had a lad, I would. You try keeping them these days.
Well, that's what I mean. That's where you're slipping up. You see, if I was a boss, I'd make sure that I always had a lad handy.
I believe it, I believe it. How's business?
It's all right.
No sign of Maggie, Mrs. Clay.
Well, the last I heard, she'd gone on holiday with her garden.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, why, for her it is. You know, I know she's got problems and things like that, but I'm getting sick of doing all the work round here while she gets all the profits.
You know what to do about that, don't you?
What?
Buy the lady out.
Oh, yes, I could sell me mum's mink coat to raise the cash.
Oh, borrow it.
Oh, that's easier said than done.
Not necessarily. Look at my business, it's all percentages. You can always borrow the money somewhere if there's a percentage of profit in it for someone.
That's true.
You think about it.
I've started to.
Have you seen this card Fairclough sent, then?
I got one as well, from Amsterdam. It's a place I've always yearned to visit.
Oh, aye. Well, next time by-elections come round, you'll know what to do then, won't you?
Trips such as the one Mr. Fairclough's on do have long-term benefits for all of us, Ray.
You what?
Over the next few years, if we do go into the common market, we're all going to have to learn to take a much wider view and think European. Our leaders more than anybody.
Leaders! Fairclough! He couldn't lead a flaming conga without dislocating himself. Look, why do you think he jumped at the chance when he knew this conference was in Amsterdam?
Well, it does happen to be the centre of all cultural and political activity in the Netherlands.
It also happens to be one of the few places in Europe where you can go window shopping for a bit of crackling.
Pardon?
Hey, did you spread her all over the tarmac, then?
Haven't seen her yet.
Oh, I see. Do you want me to nip round to Dave Smith's and see what's happening?
No, it won't be necessary, love. I've written her a little note. Terse, but to the point, I think. Mr. Tatlock, I wonder, would you be passing Dave Smith's betting office inside the next half hour or so?
Yeah, I might be. Why, do you want to put something on?
No. I've written a little note to Lucille. I wondered if you'd give it to her for me.
I might have a bit of a job on.
Oh?
What's she in there, is she?
Not there.
Well, not according to Dave Smith. I mean, that's what he was going on about when I were in there half an hour since. He hadn't seen or heard of her all morning.
Oh, Andrew, you shouldn't have.
Do you like it, then?
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah, lass, it's not but a bit of a broach.
Oh, I'm sorry, Handel, only it's Blue John, isn't it? And Blue John always upsets me.
Upsets you?
Yes, you see, it was at Blue John that Irma and David got themselves engaged. We had a shadow trip there.
Do you mean that lass that keeps the corner shop?
Yes.
Oh, heck. I suppose I could have brought you something better.
Oh, no, Handel, it's lovely. Only, you know, well, I'm very easily touched. Would you like to stay for your dinner?
Oh, I wouldn't mind, thank you, yes.
Oh, well, right. Sit down then, and I'll go and see if it's nearly ready.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're here, are you? Thought they sent you back to Canada, Mark, not known at this address.
No, not just yet.
Oh dear.
Well, you can stop gawping. You did ask me to come round for my dinner today.
Yes, Ina, I know. Only it must have gone straight out of my head. And now I've asked Handel to stay as well. I suppose there'll be enough for hot pot for 3.
Well, if it's anything like your usual hot pot, Minnie Cole, well, I doubt there'll be enough for 2.
But look, if it's going to be any trouble, I can always go and get something at the Rovers.
You stop where you are, Handel Garside. I might not have all my own teeth there, but I reckon I still know when I'm not wanted.
Well, perhaps you'll come round for your tea.
Perhaps, if I've nothing better to do.
Oh, hang on a minute, Mum. You can't just go ringing the police just like that.
Can't I fail to see why not?
But what are you going to say when you get through for a start? Please, Sergeant, my ward's been whipped away by the gypsies. They carried her off in a caravan with a bag over her head. I mean, you don't even know for certain that she's there, do you?
Oh, I know.
Oh, go on, tell me.
Because I know Lucille, and I've suspected for a long time there was a great deal more in this gypsy business than meets the eye.
And what's that supposed to mean?
What it means, Billy, is that I know Lucille a great deal better than you do. One of the things I know, for instance, is that if she gets emotionally involved with anything, there is usually a boy around, and there were certainly plenty of those.
Right, so she's gone off with a gypsy. That is still not a police matter.
No, I think it is.
Look, Mum, she's 21.
She is a young and impressionable girl who is not 1/4 as sophisticated as she thinks she is. And in the hands of those people, anything is liable to happen to her.
Welcome home.
Lucy.
Hello?
Hi.
Smells nice.
Specialty à la maison.
Why, what's that?
Bubble and squeak.
Oh, did Mark get back?
Yeah, he's upstairs sorting his things out.
Did he have any luck?
He didn't bother. He's stopping with us
When was that all decided?
this morning. That's what you wanted, isn't it?
Yes, is what I wanted.
Well, that's settled then, isn't it? You and him are very close, aren't you?
Yes.
I wonder why it is.
What?
Some kids are real good pals with their dads, and other kids, well, they just don't even make conversation.
Well, it's mutual interest. Mark and I had a lot in common. We used to go fishing together. I taught him how to swim. He was never out of the garage.
Kept a bit cleaner than you did, didn't he?
Tell me, frankly,
What?
do you like him?
Frankly, he reminds me of his dad. A lot.
Well, I've told you I've nothing to say to you.
I suppose you do realise we've been half out of our minds with worry about you.
Not about me, not you.
I never slept a wink last night.
Not because of me.
And what's that supposed to mean?
You weren't worried about me, Auntie Annie. Not me. It was what people were going to say about you and the Rovers when they heard I'd been arrested.
That is not true, and you know it.
Oh, it is the truth, and we both know it. Any road. I'm not ashamed of what I did, even if you are. All I tried to do was help somebody who did nobody any harm.
That, of course, is a matter of opinion.
It's not a matter of opinion. What harm had they done anybody? Well, except refusing to conform.
Oh, really, Lucille, I can't go into all that again.
Yes, but we've got to go into it, haven't we? I mean, now the police have moved them on, we can't just pretend they never existed. I mean, it's just going to happen somewhere else. But Auntie Annie, they're people. They're just ordinary people like you and me. They just don't want to happen to live like us, that's all.
For what I saw at that rotten camp with Ray Langton and his mob, I can't say I blame him.
That had nothing to do with me. I have never condoned physical violence as a solution to anything.
Oh, no, Auntie Annie. You're far too subtle for that, aren't you? You just pick up the phone and put in an official complaint and let the fuzz do your dirty work for you.
Yes, well, now that us girls have finished scratching each other's eyes out and a bad fairy's gone back to the public, what happened to you this morning?
They went to Bury.
Oh, the gypsies?
Yes.
And you went after them?
That's right.
So why didn't you stay with them then?
I would have done if I could.
Well?
They wouldn't have me. They'd had far too much trouble for 1 week without taking any more with them.
Lucille is all right, I suppose.
Yes.
What's that you put down?
It's a 6, isn't it?
Oh, I can blooming well knocking again.
Aye, aren't you?
Chips.
Better look down next time, Albert.
Aye. But it's not supposed to be a game of chance, you know.
Come on, Albert, you can't win them all.
No, I don't know. That depends on whether the bloke you're playing with knows the difference between a 9 and a number 7 bust, doesn't it?
Now then, you know what they say, better a good loser than a bad winner.
Oh, aye. Who says?
Well,
look, I'll tell you something. You can bet it were a southerner.
you know, I can't help thinking there must be some profound universal truth in that.
Hold it over then.
Yes, I have. Do you think you could find somebody to put the money up for me?
I'll make a few inquiries for you.
Right. I want to know what interest they're charging now.
Leave it to your Uncle Billy.
Well, can we start then, or do we have to wait until he arrives? Who? Prince Philip? Well, I presume you've got some good reason for getting your best china out on a Monday night.
Well, if you've got the best stuff, then eat off it. That's what I always say.
Oh, do you? By gum, you want to watch it and all. You'll be writing slogans next for them bingo cards you're so fond of.
Oh, well, you can start whenever you like.
I bumped into an old friend of yours yesterday.
Oh?
Vera Johnson, her has got dermatitis working in the powder.
Oh, yes.
By gum, talk about mutton dressed as lamb. She's caught in again, you know.
Oh.
And she's nearly as old as you at that. She never did have two brains to rub together, didn't that one?
Would you really fit it in with their way of life, Lucille, even if you had been accepted?
I don't know, do I? Anything had been better than living round here. Don't you ever get that feeling living round here? You're just surrounded by walls and walls that, well, no one's even tried to look over.
Oh, I don't think environment really matters. Otherwise, we'd all probably living in the Cotswolds or somewhere. People are what matter to me.
Oh, don't mention people to me.
Well, I don't think you'd have found the gypsies different from anybody else, Lucille. Once the novelty had worn off.
Yeah, well, it's something we'll never know, isn't it?
Haven't we met somewhere before? At the barricades.
Oh, I suppose you think that's very funny, don't you?
Oh, come on, it's all over now, isn't it?
Oh, but it's not over, is it? And never will be whilst the likes of yous are around.
Hey!
Well, it's always you, isn't it? Here, Belfast. Every time a peaceful demonstration turns into a rotten riot, it's you just wanting to cause trouble.
Well, you know what they say, darling, they should never have stopped national service, should they?
Oh, Ray, you just don't make me laugh anymore.
Good evening, Mrs. Walker. Hello, Mrs. Walker.
What are you having?
Oh, just a quick half pint, please. I've got a rush job at the garage.
2 halves of bitter, please, Miss
Two
Walker.
halves of bitter?
Yeah. So what's it like then? How long have you been there?
Well, the garage, just a few weeks. It's all right, you know. Mark, you know what happened to the business, don't you?
Yeah, Mum told me. Yeah.
2 halves of bitter.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So what went wrong?
Oh, several things. A little bit of bad management, a lot of bad luck.
So what happens now then? You're not going to stay on at the garage, are you?
No, I'm just down there till I get my breath back.
To the future then?
I'll drink to that.
What do you reckon then?
It's all right.
What? Chelsea Tanner's latest edition?
You know, it's great.
All right.
Only all right.
Well, he's a bit young for me, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. When you're getting on a bit, you need somebody that bit older, don't you? I'm I'm thinking of setting my cap at Albert Tatlock myself. They say his gay gardens have got to be seen to be believed. Hey, you, when I crack a joke, laugh.
Oh, I'm sorry, kid. I'm not in the mood today.
Well, that's that then.
As what?
Bill Sweeney. I've just been talking to him about you.
Oh, and is he going to lend me the money then, just like that?
Oh, don't be daft. I've got to go and see him tonight in the club, talk about it.
Oh, good. Do you think there's a chance then?
Listen, darling, with this bloke, if there's anything in it for him, there's a chance.
They had it in that room over the co-op, the one with the floral wallpaper.
What?
The tea.
What tea?
Oh, it were a knife and fork doing her. Oh, we gave her a lovely funeral, did Charlie.
Charlie who?
Charlie Reynolds out of Sampson Street, when their Betty passed on.
I never knew no Charlie Reynolds.
Oh, well, then you wouldn't know what I'm talking about, would you?
Well, look, if we all got a bottle of stout inside us, we'd probably have a bit more to say.
Oh, I'm very comfortable here, thanks, Mrs. Sharples. What about you, Minnie?
Oh, I'm very comfortable.
I see.
Still, don't let it hold you up, you know, if you want to wet your whistle, like.
Oh, no, Ina, don't let it spoil your enjoyment. We'll see you over there after.
Well, I suppose that depends, doesn't it? On whether I see you first or not.
Oh, take no notice. I thought she was never going to go.
Well, I suppose we did drop some hints, didn't we?
By gum, there's nought just like good home cooking, is there?
Oh, you enjoyed your tea, then?
I wish I had to start it all over again.
Well, would you like some more cake? There is some.
Oh, no, thanks. I couldn't force another crumb in.
What's it like where you're staying?
Well, she does her best.
Oh, well, you know you're welcome to come and have a meal with me whenever you like, Handel.
Yes, I know that, lass, but I don't like taking advantage of your good nature. Well, you can't do much entertaining on a pension, can you? Still, there is something I think we could do.
Oh?
No, you'd think I was being cheeky.
Oh, go on, Handel.
Well, I'm just at them digs that I've got for bed and breakfast. Supposing I was to buy the food for both of us and you were to cook it.
Oh, I see.
I thought you'd think I was being cheeky.
Oh, no, I think it's a very good idea. Only, what's Ina going to say about it?
Well, does it matter?
No, it doesn't, come to think of it.
I'm not with you, Chuck. What's the occasion?
There's no occasion. I just thought you'd like them, that's all.
I do like them. I don't know what to say.
Well, didn't your Dennis ever give you any chocolates, then?
Oh, yes, but that was always when he'd done something or was about to do something.
Well, then that's when you owe me, then, for when I do something.
Thanks. Thanks very much.
It's a pleasure.
Have you had your tea?
Yeah, I got something in town.
Well, would you like a drink? I've got a bottle of beer here somewhere.
Yeah.
Get your own glasses, will you?
Okay.
I think you better pour it out yourself. Unless you want to eat it out of a glass with a spoon.
Tell me something.
What?
Something I don't know.
What?
How did you two ever come to get together?
You mean me and your dad?
Yeah.
Well, I don't really know. I think we saw each other across a pub.
That was it?
Well, not exactly. Couldn't stand the sight of each other at first.
That's funny.
What is?
Well, if anybody had asked me, I'd have laid £1,000 to a penny my dad would never have married again. He really loved my mother, you know.